Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial, and today I want to show you one of the items that I use to create decisions in terms of what I determine to be a good price to buy at. And one of the easiest way to do this is by using a line chart in Excel. What I have here on the screen is of course Pfizer, and I'm using Yahoo Finance because Yahoo Finance does a really good job of enabling historical data exports to Excel. What you see on the screen right now is the historical experience of Pfizer. As you can see, they followed the broader trend for the past few years, or rather the past year, of a big sell-off in March into April and then steadily climbing back up. However, as you can see, even though that right now we're currently sitting right underneath $37 a share, what we're really targeting is to see that high growth. However, if the stock is going to continue to be volatile, do we want to be purchasing right now? And one of the ways that we can determine that is by setting specific buy points and prices that we really like to see. One of the ways that we can gather that data is doing a historical data export. Now, because stocks are liquid, because the price can change, I like to make sure that we are using an appropriate representation of time. And right now I've selected the past 3 months. And the reason for that is because it shows the trend, especially during the upward momentum time period for stocks. So that's what I'm particularly going to be looking towards for this analysis. When I hit download, it's going to give me the option to export that file, and this will become available in a Excel or a CSV comma delineated format, and you can see that information here. What I'm going to be doing instead is going directly to this file right here and using this. So what I've done is I've selected the close price as well as my buy, hold, and sell points. Now, because these are going to be on a broader chart, that's why I have them at 35, 2, and 13. And you'll see how that develops here shortly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the data. Then I'm going to hit insert, and the chart that we're going to select is a custom combo chart. So we're going to create this chart. And as you can see here, this doesn't quite look like the way that I want to utilize this format. Rather, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my close point at the price or the line so that I'm able to see the price at every single day that the stock closed at. Then what I'm going to do is actually use a stacked column for these other 3 files. And you'll see this start changing here as they're stacked upon one another. So you can see this range that's been developed as the stock moves right here. When I hit OK, we now have a chart showing past historical experience and when I should have been buying and when it was too low. As you can see, the price that I was really buying at is not really showing itself right now, and we've really been staying in a range, if you can see it. Rather, what I would want to do is I would want to reformat this chart to where we're actually able to see with a little bit more granularity and a little bit prettier coloring. One of the ways that I'm going to do that is right off the bat, I'm going to add and change some chart elements. Because I don't need a chart title because this is my information, I'm going to get rid of that. As well as what I'm going to do is I'm going to bold everything in here and increase the font size because I want to be able to see everything quite clearly. So now we've got our capability to see everything, and we can actually see some level of movement. However, I also want to make sure that this chart pops off the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline it black, as well as I'm going to add a shadow effect to the right hand side, and you can see just around the edges it's now started popping off the screen. I'm going to copy that same approach here and create a shadow on my line, and you can see now it's starting to differentiate itself from the other items right here. What I'm really wanting to do here though is acknowledge that the price really has not dipped back down to a buy point, but for a few points in time. And if that is the case, is that going to give me the capability to be able to make an educated and informed decision? And as we can see, I don't like these moves right here up. I do like the ones that crest slightly lower. What I can also do here is change with some of the color schemes to make this a little bit more friendly. Although as you can see, they're not always the best chart selections. I tend to normally stick with some of these more grayscale. So as we evaluate these different colors, this is something that normally I would just evaluate before making a change for myself. So for example, when we're looking at these numbers here, or these colors, what you can actually do is then go in and make a change and change your own selection here. Although again, I don't know if you're going to be making those moves or what have you, but there's a lot of different ways that you can approach this to make it a little bit more standout. The important thing to note is that, can I tell the difference between my individual charts right here, and am I going to be able to make educated decisions based off that information? Until you have that set up, you're probably not going to get the maximum value associated with this. And the reason for that is because this is going to enable you to make those decisions as to, do I want to be getting involved in the stock or not? Again, this is a simple way for you to track historical performance and set up plays for future performance. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks everyone. Talk to you later.